Okay, folks, here's a quick review of the Captain Britain figure that was produced by Hasbro as a part of the Marvel Universe line of products. This was part of a Greatest Battles comic 2-pack that also featured Spider-Man. Now, I have to admit that I wasn't familiar with this iteration of Captain Britain. The last Captain Britain figure that I reviewed was a part of the Captain America First Avenger figure line, and I believe that figure was a more current interpretation of the character. I will say that this costume of Captain Britain is certainly a very interesting look for the character, and I think it's very eye-catching. Okay, the articulation joints move nicely on the figure. Captain Britain has articulation in the neck, shoulders, the upper biceps, the elbows, the wrists, the diaphragm, the hips, the knees, and the ankles. The head does turn 360 degrees, but it has little to no up and down movement. The shoulders move 360 degrees and move in and out, and the knees are double jointed. The ankles move up and down, but it doesn't appear that there's an ankle pivot joint on the figure. Okay, paint apps on the figure were nicely done for the most part. What I was particularly impressed with was the attention to detail on the Union Jack flags just below Captain Britain's hair and also located on his wrists. The Golden Lion also looks great, but it did have just a little teeny bit of a smudge. But other than that, as I said, the paint apps were pretty well done. So let me pause here, zoom in, and I'm going to give you a closer look as to what Captain Britain looks like. Okay. All right, Captain Britain did come with some accessories, so let me take a break here and I'm going to show you what they look like. The figure stand that you see him standing on was not included in the package and was purchased by me separately from smalljoes.com. Okay, first up, here is Captain Britain's Star Scepter. Now, Captain Britain uses this in different ways in the included comic that I'll show you momentarily. He can fly using this or use it to create a force field around him. It can also be used as a melee weapon. He can only hold this in his right hand as his left hand is molded closed in a fist. And unfortunately, this was somewhat warped in the package, but I was able to straighten it out somewhat. All right, next up, here's Captain Britain's amulet. Now, in the included comic, Brian Braddock, that's Captain Britain's real name, he touches this with his index finger to turn into Captain Britain. Now, removing the amulet from the figure is easy. Just pop the head off the neck, and it comes right off. Okay, and finally, here's the included comic that you get in the package. It's a reprint of an issue of a Marvel team-up that was released in the 70s featuring Captain Britain and Spider-Man. And I believe this was part one of a two-part story. Now, as I said when I reviewed the Spider-Man figure that was included in this 2-pack, the comic book isn't an accessory in that sense of the word, but it still deserves to be shown nonetheless. Okay, what I'm going to do now is a quick 360 of Captain Britain for you and let you see what he looks like from all sides. So here he is from the front. Here is Captain Britain from the left-hand side. Here is Captain Britain from the rear. Here is Captain Britain from the right-hand side. And as an added treat for you, I thought I'd give you a close-up of one of the Union Jacks that are on Captain Britain's wrists. And as you can see, Hasbro really did a nice job in bringing this to life. It looks really good, don't you think? And finally, here we are once again facing forward. So overall, I have to say that I really like this Captain Britain figure. Paint apps were done well with great attention being paid to detail. The only real problem that I did run into was with the Star Scepter accessory being somewhat warped in the package. But I'm sure I can be able to straighten that out once this review is concluded. So therefore, this Captain Britain figure, it gets a great recommendation from me. I feel that this is a very eye-catching character, and I feel that this figure will look great in a Marvel Universe collection. And as an addendum, I also wanted to say that the comic pack itself, it gets a great recommendation from me as well. Hopefully, it can still be found easily on retail store shelves or online at a reasonable price. So if you see it, don't hesitate to pick it up. It's a good one. Okay, so on that note, take care and stay tuned for my next review. Have a good one.